Businesses are feeling fallout overseas from the NSA spying revelations. You normally wouldn't make the connection, but other countries are actually thinking twice now about buying goods that are made by U.S. companies, as China is establishing its own version of the NSA. That's right, they're creating one, making it even more challenging to do business there. How hard is this hitting the bottom line of American companies? I promised you the best. Brenda Butner is here, senior business correspondent at Anchor Bulls and Bears, is joining me to break it all down. It really did take me by surprise that the NSA story, which we reported about Ed Snowden going to Russia and being taken in, would have any effect on U.S. companies.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely...
What is the struggle they're facing, Brenda?
Well, there's an economic fallout, and we're seeing it in the numbers as a lot of technology companies open their books during earnings season. Cisco Systems saw its sales to China fall 18%. IBM said its sales to China fell 22%. It hit its third quarter bottom line 4% in profit because, you know, China is the second biggest economy in the world. What's happening is China is nervous about taking goods from U.S. tech companies because they're afraid they're going to get the spying will, you know, undermine their own companies. We're also seeing it's not just China. There was a survey done that said that overseas customers would probably cancel some of their contracts from U.S. cloud providers by 10%, and many of them are thinking about that. 55% are thinking about that. So this really is having an economic impact.
Are they right to worry, Brenda? Do you think it's a legitimate concern?
Well, I mean, you look at China. I mean, so many of their companies are owned by the government, which we know, of course, spies. And that's why we have a lot of problems sometimes doing trade with China. We're afraid of China owning U.S. companies. So we know that they're doing it. Of course, they're nervous if some of their secrets get caught up by our own spying activities. Now, this should not guide whether or not whatever the NSA does, obviously, just the economic impact on U.S. companies. But it's definitely may have, you know, a problem with our economy.
And that's just based on what we know about what they're doing. There could also be another component of what we don't know. Is that why China may be gearing up to form their own NSA? It's hard to believe they didn't have one to begin with.
That's the brilliant point. I can't believe that they don't have one. Now they're just coming out and saying that it's going to be there. I think that's a threat in some ways, that they're trying to threaten us and say...
That they're going to counter-spy.
Yes, exactly. But you know that they're doing it in any case. I mean, countries all over the world are doing it, and with good reason. But China, I also think, wants to retaliate because the U.S. congressional report took issue with two Chinese tech companies, which basically barred them from doing much business with the United States. So China's saying, you know, maybe we're going to think twice. But it's definitely raising alarm bells all over the world.
In terms of manufacturing and parts, because manufacturing took a real hit and we'd like to see it get back so people can get jobs, will we be able to manufacture all our products if we have a concern about buying parts from China?
That's a brilliant question, and that's another...
Two brilliant questions in this one interview?
Yes, you're not only Dr. Colby, you're economist Colby.
Oh, my goodness, I can't believe it.
No, I mean, that's a real issue because, you know, there's a real trickle-down effect. It's not just what happens to Cisco. It's who they buy their parts from. And, you know, it would be nice if we could manufacture everything, but the truth is U.S. companies go to China because it's cheaper, and they buy Chinese products because they're cheaper. And our economy right now, in large part during the recession, was driven by exports, by other countries around the world buying our goods because our consumers were not. So this is another issue.
So we should watch this long term. We may not, this is the first time you've reported on this here. We may not.
Oh, yeah.
It might not be the end.
We should be looking at all the, you know, technologies on the leading edge of the economy. If they can't sell, this could be a big problem.